to... I can hear them, but I can't see them. Go! There we go. Lights out, and away we go then. It looks like Czech's got a pretty good start, and in fact he's already up into P2. He's going side by side with the Williams, and he might have a look down the inside of the McLaren into turn 1. It's all a bit messy. Czech's off the track. We've got Rando maintaining the lead, and Sem and Brindy and Czech going 3 wide, then into turns 3 and 4, and it's all getting a little bit messy. We've got drivers off. We've got Czech, I think, might have hit the wall there actually. It looks like he's got a bit of damage, but he is in P2 at the moment. But, well, look at how messy that is behind. Unfortunately, I can't really... Yeah, there we go. It's just about working its way out. No, Czech hasn't got any damage, so he's gotten away with that one. And he's going side by side with Brindy, and Brindy's been pushed out wide, and Sem's gotten through now. So Sem up into P3. So it's a McLaren 1-3 with Czech in the middle, but Sem now is going to have a really good run down on Czech into the hairpin then. Let's see how he gets on. Can he go for it? He's using a lot of his battery here to try and get past Czech. Obviously, McLaren's, if they get that 1-2 at the start, they can perhaps manage this race. So here we go then. Sem down the inside of Czech into the hairpin. He brakes early. He leaves a lot of room for Czech, but on the exit squeezes him a little bit, but he does get the move done. So Sem up into P2, and in fact Brindy's taking the opportunity to get past Czech, as well as Czech went a little bit wide there on the exit. So it is a McLaren 1-2 with Brindy Boy in third. Czech's lost the position off the start after being in P2 only a moment ago. Dylan and Bunny already up into 5th and 6th. Connor's lost a few positions, as has Bennett. Clock's down to P12. So that's definitely not a brilliant start for him. Rixie's kind of maintained position. Ranger, I think, is up a couple. And Jib Jab as well has lost a few positions. We've got a few in the pits already. We've got Bunny and we've got Ranger in the pits, as Rando has already got 1.6 second lead. So there you go. I was mugging Rando off, and it turns out he's pulling away. So there you go. We've got, as I say, yeah, Mercedes in the pits. So Connor's back up to 6th now, but already Rando pulling away, and there's a bit of a group forming. We've got the timings going AWOL again as usual. So that's really annoying. Cheers game. I didn't want to find out where anyone was. We've got Bennett, who Fox vanished. Yeah, cheers game. We had the Alphas in 7th and 8th, and now Cox down to 10th. So I've just sort of completely lost my train of thought. But it is Lewis in P8 behind Bennett, and in fact Lewis has made a very nice start. If we look at, where is it? Position change, Lewis up 6th, and well, he had a very good drive last week, did Lewis, coming up through the field, and well, he's starting off on the right foot here. Lil Wiggy as well up 4, obviously courtesy of 2 drivers, sorry, pitting, and Liam's lost a bit of time as well as the back of that group. Rixie as well up 2 off the start, he's into 9th, so good start from him. Brindy and Czech both losing out of position as Sem's up 2, so good start from the McLaren pair. We're not seeing the gap out front change. I think that's more of a visual glitch, as opposed to the gap literally just staying at 1.601 seconds for the last lap and a half. It also says it's on lap 3, which it is now. It wasn't until then. Rando fastest at 38.7, and it looks as though he is pulling away. He's got a 2-second gap now over to Sem, who is currently P2. So Rando is definitely in control of this race, but it's very early doors, so I don't want to say anything too soon. We are following on with Lewis, who is getting quite close now to Bennett. Obviously, he's going to get DRS this lap as well. 3 DRS zones there are, and Lewis all out of shape there. I've completely jinxed him, so there we go. There's one already.
Come on the threat from Riggsy now.
Lost a bit of his wing. As you say, Riggsy then down the outside, round the outside. It will turn to the inside now for the second part of the chicane, and he gets the move done.
Lewis will come back at him though with DRS down the long back straight.
But Lewis is missing an end plate, so I'm sure Riggsy won't appreciate the racing point going for a move back. But, well, there's nothing stopping Lewis from doing that, and it looks as though he is going to try it. Riggsy forces him to the outside, but, well, Lewis has already got the move done before the corner. So there you go, then Lewis back up into P8, but I'd imagine he's probably going to have to pit. Otherwise, he's just going to really sort of hold this group up. That's allowed Bennett a bit of freedom. Then he's managed to pull out of Lewis's DRS, but Bennett is kind of in a bit of no man's land at the moment in P7. I'm sure he won't mind that too much though, as he can kind of just get on with his race. We'll see if Lewis does pit them. We'll go on board with Rigsy through the final sector. As you can see, he's kind of just a bit hesitant behind the Racing Point, and yet there we go. Lewis does pull off into the pits. So unfortunately, that is an earlier stop than I'm sure Lewis would have planned. We've also got a Haas in the pits as well. That is Tooman. Over to Merckx for the first time this evening, or for this race.
Yeah, I think Lewis obviously made a good start and he's, well, lost all of that and now he's back into the pits already. I think it'll be important to see what the two McLarens will do from here. Rando's obviously outside of DRS. Can Sem hold off Brindley, which he has seemed to do, and he looks like Dylan has finally got into DRS as well. So I think it is between the two McLarens for the race win at the moment as it stands, but if Sem can catch up to his teammate, then it brings everyone else with him. But it's going to be interesting to see within the next few laps, do people come in early for a 2-stop or do they come in for a 1-stop? It doesn't seem like there's any safety cars going to come out anytime soon, but that could happen in a split second. So I think it will be interesting to see if people start to come in for a 2-stop or carry on for a 1-stop.
Yeah, we've got Connor putting Dylan under a bit of pressure there. In fact, Dylan's got all out of shape on the exit of the hairpin. So Connor, he had the DRS on Dylan, put him under pressure and forced the mistake out of Dylan. So Connor up into P5, so very good start from him. Back where he started now. Rixie up 3, of course, after Lewis pitted. Field's already starting to spread out. As you say, Mertz, I guess a few guys have had to, they've sort of been forced into the 2-stop, but it will be interesting to see if anyone sort of chooses to do that. I guess if there's a safety car fairly soon, it might be worth a shot. So then, yeah, as I say, kind of everyone's spreading out. There's this second to sixth, sorry, sort of train going on. But then there's 2 seconds back to Bennett, then it's another 2 to Ricci, then it's 1.5 to Clock. So everyone already, there's quite a few little groups forming. And then of course we've got those 3 guys at the back, 4 if you include Ranga, that have all already pitted. Has Ranga pitted twice? Because he's a long way back. Yeah, we're asking what happened to Ranga. Oh dear, I was not. Jib Jab has just punted Clock, and Clock's been spun round. I was looking in the chat, so I apologise, I didn't quite see it. I looked up and saw a Racing Point locking up and smacking the back of the Alfa Romeo. That was not great, to be honest.
I've just seen it on the stream, got a bit of a replay because my stream's quite delayed, but yeah, just misses braking point and straight into the back of the Alfa Romeo. Going to be McLaren's as well. I think Sem might just be playing a bit of a sort of rear gunner role for Rando at the moment, just trying to keep the chasing pack behind for as long as he possibly can to give his teammate as big a gap as possible. Obviously, the bigger the gap gets, the better it will be for pit stops as well, in case there's a safety car or anything like that and they both want to pit. The bigger the gap, the less chance there is that it will lose time and places in the pits. As yeah, Brindy Boy and Czech and Connor behind, not really got any sort of response to either of the McLarens at the moment. I say Sem's playing a rear gunner role, but he's got the most DRS out of all of them, and Brindy Boy's not really looked like pressuring him since about lap 2.
Yeah, as you say, Brando's lead now almost at 3 seconds. Little Wiggy's made a pretty decent start. He's up 9, so he's avoided all the chaos, and he's rather reaped the reward of that. He's up into P9, and he's just about got DRS of Alfie, but then after that there's a 5-second gap from him to Riggs. So as I say, the field's spreading out quite a lot already. That has rather ruined Clock's race. I mean, I don't think it's right that we comment on incidents normally, but when it's as clear cut as that one, it wasn't great. So yeah, Jib Jab as well having to pit, of course, new front wing, because he would have lost an end plate. Also, Louis is very, very low on his ERS, but he is going to go for the move on Alfie and backs out, kind of, and well, he has backed out now. And yeah, as you say, we've got battle for P4. It's Czech and Connor going at it. And Connor has got the move done, so Connor up into 4th now. We've got a McLaren, Williams for the top 4. Czech's dropped off a little bit, so I wonder if I don't quite know what's
There
up with
was-
Czech.
no,
He's
there was no
pitting
damage.
already.
He went in
Yeah,
deep to the
early
hairpin
stop.
and then got on that exit curb and just no traction out there. Connor got a bit eager as well to try and get past, almost put it in the wall, but yeah, got the move done down into turn 12. Dylan had been dropping off this group a lot as well, but that little battle between the Williams and the Ferrari has helped him to get back into the DRS. He's got a lot of his battery left as well, saved up, to be fair to Dylan, so he might be looking to push on. But that gap out front just getting bigger and bigger. Doesn't look like Sem has any damage, but he's just not got any sort of response to his teammate at the moment.
Yeah, just seen Brindy Boy pressuring Sem through the first few corners. I don't know how Sem's ERS is playing out, but you mentioned not too long ago that it was looking pretty good. But
Yeah,
Brindy
still
Boy,
pretty healthy.
I say, right on the back of Sem, but that gap out front, it is increasing. Czech's pitted, he's gone onto mediums, so I wonder if perhaps he was feeling like he was being held up slightly by the guys ahead of him, and he's going for the two-stop, aggressive on the tyres, really going to push it. Brindy Boy has literally got no ERS left. And he's not going to be close enough on this occasion to go for the move on Sem. So, yeah, Sem's in a position where he's kind of saving his battery up and using it down the straight. So he's not really using, like, net gain or net loss. There's not really anything like that on his battery. Excuse me. But Rando does just seem to kind of be the faster of the two at the moment. And, well, it's kind of playing out all right for them. Because, well, Sem's in P2 and not really been challenged thus far. And Rando's, well, 3.5 seconds out in the lead. We got Connor then, he's closed up right to the back of Brindy Boy. So I think Sem probably is just not quite at the pace, because Connor was over a second behind Brindy after he got past Czech, and he's closed that right back up. And Dylan's just sticking with him. So Dylan's having a pretty solid race himself, sticking with Connor. They're kind of working their way through together almost, as it were. And then Rigsy has not really gained on Bennett, and Bennett's dropped a little bit off the back of those. Predators has also caught up to this battle for P8 it is now, with Lil Wiggy and Alfie. Predator's been a bit under the radar as well, but he's made a pretty solid start to this race, as well as the Ferrari driver. And, well, nearly jinxed him because he got very loose on the curve there. But these three then look to be sort of, well, they're in a bit of a gap really. There's 5 seconds in front and behind near enough, and they're battling it out for what looks to be P8 at the moment. And it looks as though Lil Wiggy might have quite a nice run on Alfie down the straight. Alfie seems to get a pretty decent exit, but Lil Wiggy's going to get the slipstream. He's going to get the DRS, and he's using his battery. Now then, Alfie defended quite well last time out, but it doesn't look like he's going to be any match for the Renault on this occasion. There we go then, Lil Wiggy, he's already passed him before they even get to the braking zone. So there we have it, the Renault up into P8. Good move from him. Over to Mertz.
It's going to be interesting when they pit. I think Rando can stay out and he can afford to lose out on the undercut at the moment. And I think look out for Lil Wiggy as this race progresses. As,
They will listen to you.
yeah, I think Rando's going to come in next lap. I think he's going to have to, just to, because the undercut is going to be powerful regardless. The softs are not going to be that great. Connor, I don't even know. I don't think he didn't improve on his Q2 lap, did he? So he must be on those old tyres still. I don't know, unless he did, but his tyres must be crying out for a pit stop at the moment. Yeah, I expect Dylan to get past him probably on this lap. Yeah, Riggs is in as well.
Ooh.
I see. So
Sem's on mediums, and Brindy's gone for hards.
I
interesting.
know,
Riggs is on
Connor,
mediums.
Connor will have had fresh tyres, won't he, of course, because he disconnected from the session.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's helped him
Now
out.
I wonder if these guys are going to try and take the mediums to the end. It is possible. It's a stretch, but it is possible. Either that, or it's kind of quite late to be pitting for a two-stop. You want to pit earlier than that and go aggressive. Either that, or perhaps they're just banking on a safety car. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think it'd be advantage the one stoppers who start on the mediums if it was that case. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I think you just need to watch out for the likes of Lil Wiggy. I don't know how far he can get up in this race, but he's obviously been re-overtaken. So these two, the more they battle,
Yeah.
the less time they're gonna gain on the other drivers.
Yeah, they've been going at it the last few laps now. As you say, Alfie regaining that position. It's now 5th place as a few guys have pitted.
I'd feel pretty bad for Brindy Boy if Sem was going to try and go to the end, because I told him I was pretty confident it would be softs hards, but I think the race will come back to him in that sense with Sem wearing his tyres out towards the end. Connor and Randa have actually continued for another lap, so maybe they are just going to go softs mediums, because I mean if they're doing 10 laps on softs, you should think they'll be able to do 18 on the mediums.
Yeah.
Because as you said quite a while ago now at the start of the stream, the tyre wear is not the issue around here, it's the sort of drop off in pace that they have when they get to about 40%, which they'll be struggling with. Also, Czech pitted very early, didn't he, for the mediums, but he's lost, if anything, he's lost quite a bit of time from doing that. I don't really think he got held up in... Yeah, he must be. I don't think he got held up in any traffic though. He had Liam to get past, but he got past him pretty comfortably with DRS. So yeah, not quite sure what's happened to Czech here. Maybe a wing change or something like that, but even so, he's still quite a bit further back than you might have expected. Yeah, Brindy Boy doesn't seem to have any sort of pace to match Sem at the moment on those hards compared to Sem's mediums. So big...
Oh, we got yellow flags. Yeah, we've got a AlphaTauri there in sector 3. That is Ranga. Ranga is out. He retired here last season. He's retired here this season. And that's really put... Well, it's put all the cards in Rando's hand, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's helped Connor as well, actually.
Rando and Connor probably going to go mediums to the end here, and Bennett as well. In fact, those three haven't pitted yet. These softs, these mediums runners as well that are yet to pit, they're in a pretty decent position because they can go hard to get, and Ranga's car's right in the middle of the track there. It's a bit of a tricky one to avoid. It's just gone now. But yeah, as you say, Dylan as well pitted just that lap before, and he's lost a lot of time to those guys as well. So, well, you'd imagine that this safety car has really bailed out Rando and Connor.
Yep, Rando on mediums.
Preds has got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is
and
not
Connor
like
mediums
him.
as well.
So yeah, it looks like mediums for those that were on the softs, and I'd imagine those on the mediums will go to the hards. So yeah, it perhaps doesn't help everyone, at least to a degree. Rando's coming out of the pits now, and he's going to be comfortably ahead of Sem, and in fact Connor is going to be ahead of Sem as well. So it's McLaren Williams now is the running order, and it's not really helped Brindy Boy because those mediums now should be fairly decent to go to the end, you'd imagine.
I don't know, I think the pace, as I just said, the pace drop off I think is still quite apparent on the mediums as well. So if he can stick with the DRS of those guys, although I feel he might come under threat from Bennett, Riggs, and almost certainly from Alfie on the softs. But no, if he can stay with these three, I think it will come back to him. It will come back to him at the end if he can, if I can get my words out, if he can stick in their DRS. Although, yeah, as I say, and the threat from behind.
Pretty much all the mediums runners have gone softs. Yeah, I
guess softs to the end, but yeah, I should think if I was them, I definitely would have gone hards, because yeah, just lose too much time now. Surely on like 2-stop.
Yeah, they'll be quick at this point, but I mean they'll have to pit again. Czech has pitted; he's gone onto the hards now. But yeah, so it's going to mean that like Riggsy and Bennett, who you would say are in a pretty good position to challenge Brindy Boy, they could end up getting sort of tripped up with Alfie behind them on the softs. Dylan as well, he's got Wiggy and Preds behind him on the softs, so that will definitely mix it up a little bit. Of course, Rando and Connor in good position, the pair of them on fresh mediums or fresher, because I mean Sems are only a lap old anyway. And yeah, Bennett as well. So Bennett and Riggsy both they gained obviously from the safety car. Although Riggsy didn't get the free pit stop, Bennett pitted under the safety car. Riggsy had already pitted, but they're both having pretty good races. It has to be said, 5th and 6th so far for the pair of them.
Apparently, Bunny is laggy according to Riggsy. Even though Riggs is
I'll leave that one be.
A whole 6 places ahead.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works, but yeah, I don't know. I think Midley might be playing a bit of mind games with the old thing. Yeah.
Unless Riggs was near him before Bunny pitted. I don't know. Don't know about that one. Yeah.
I've checked the chat.
Oh,
I didn't read that, to be honest.
Oh, he has said in the chat. He has said in the chat. There we go.
He said, I'm confused.
He's told us that Bunny is a bit twitchy.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? I saw that, but I kind of just didn't do anything about it for some reason.
Yeah, cheers, James. So we got the safety car out then. It's going to be pretty much the halfway stage of this race when we get going again. Although, fingers crossed, we get going at the start of next lap and we get back to the action. The one positive as well with this safety car is that, of course, the field was rather spread out. Even early on, even after only a couple of laps, it was spread out. This obviously brings everyone back together now. Strategies are kind of, not balanced out, but obviously you've got the guys on the mediums against those on the hards, and it kind of, I would say, it's definitely, like you say, Mertz just put in the chat a minute ago, Rando's not won anything yet, but it's definitely Rando's advantage. You know, he's got the foundations, shall we say, to really go on. And I mean, given his pace in the first stint, it's really, it'll be interesting to see if Connor can keep up with him, because obviously they're both on the same age of tyres. Connor's not been too slow himself, has he? So it'll be interesting to see.
No, I think Connor probably has a better chance than Sem, to be honest. Connor made a few moves, got past Dylan, got past Czech, and then, yeah, it looked like he was probably a little quicker than Brindy and Sem before the pit stop. So, yeah, I think if any of them can keep up with Rando, it'll probably be him, although we will have to wait and see as the race gets back underway. Big lockup from the Williams driver on the front left around turn 22, and Rando already has a pretty sizable gap. It won't be a DRS gap, but it's quite a sizable one. Brindy dropping off, as you say, on the hards.
Yeah, Rando has the advantage, of course, of being the one to dictate the pace and dictate when to go on the restart. As Wiggy is jostling it out with Dylan for P8, and I think he's just gotten past him. But yeah, like I say, obviously, Rando, he gets to sort of decide when to go, and it seemingly has worked to his favour as he's nearly got a second gap to Connor already. And Sem put Connor under pressure into turn 1, but he's dropped back a little bit. Big lock up there and a big cut on the inside of that chicane. I mean, you can cut it a lot, but I don't know whether that was quite within the limits. But obviously we shall see as the race progresses. Brindy Boy then, he's kind of, well, he's nearly a second ahead of Bennett already, so perhaps the hards aren't as bad as we maybe thought.
Alfie on Riggs for P6 here, Harry. Then the Red Bull's going to look to the inside at the turn 11 hairpin, I believe it is. Yep, makes the move stick. Pretty comfortable in the end. I don't think Riggs has fought him too hard. Knows his race isn't with the guys on the 2 stops. So yeah, smart driving from him and a good overtake from Alfie in the Red Bull.
To be honest, you'd have to say I think Riggs is in a decent position. If he can sit with Alfie and hopefully Alfie can sort of, you know, get through a few people on the fresh softs, it could work quite well for Riggs, to be honest. Like I say, I don't think he's racing Alfie, given that he's almost certainly still got to pit, and he's got his teammate behind him who has a penalty anyway, and then he's got Preds behind who uncharacteristically has got a penalty himself. Although it looks like we've got a bit of team orders down in the Renault camp as Riggs letting Lil Wiggy through. Well, Lil Wiggy needs all the help he can get as he's got to pit again as well on the softs, and well, perhaps they're going to try and work together and you know, Riggsy can use Lil Wiggy and get through the field. We shall see. Rando had 1.7 seconds to Connor already, so there we go. We were kind of right in that regard in saying that Rando was well, he had the advantage there.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't exactly expecting him to sort of fly away as he has done, but nevertheless, and in fact, Connor's gained slightly since we said that, and he's pulled away from Sem. So there you go. Connor has obviously got a very good pace, and it's good to see.
Brindy's still with him though. Brindy's still in the DRS. If it was this lap, that'd be great for him, but I don't think Brindy's out of this one, to be honest. I mean, he's quite a way off. He's about 3 seconds, just a bit more than that off Rando at the moment. But as I keep saying, I think the tyres will come to him towards the end of this race. If he can keep the gap sort of around 5-6 seconds, I think he could probably make that up towards the end.
Yeah, Riggs has just lost another place there to Preds. I don't know if you caught that, Mertz.
No, I did not. Well, I'm not in the lobby, so.
Oh.
Yeah, because JH I think was spectating still. So
Ah.
yeah. No, but I think you need to watch out for Bennett on the back of Brindy Boy at the moment. He seems to be well. He's got the soft runners coming up behind him, and I think he will want to get past Brindy before they get past him. So as Wiggy set the fastest lap. So there you go. I think Bennett is going to need to get a move on if he wants to, well, possibly get a podium.
Yeah, I think Riggs being rather charitable perhaps hasn't worked out too well for him, because he lost the position to Wiggy, and we thought that he perhaps might have been helped out a little bit by his teammate there, as we've got Lewis in the wall, or that's Jib Jab, sorry, in the wall then by the looks of things. So things go from bad to worse for him. Yeah, we thought Riggsy might, be helped out a little bit by his teammate, but perhaps that wasn't the case. And in fact, Preds has got past him as well, and he's dropped off quite away from him, and now he's got Bunny on the back of him. I wonder if Riggs has got damage. Bennett's not going to be close enough to go for a move on Brindy by those things, but Sem might have a go at Connor down into the hairpin. He's going to put him under pressure and try and force a mistake out the Williams driver, but Connor slows it down well, defends the position, and yeah, Riggs has now lost the position to Bunny as well, so I'm just going to go
No visible damage, sorry.
What's up with him? No visible damage, perhaps just taking it easy, managing the tyres.
It just seems to be really struggling for pace.
Flags again. Checks now brought out some yellow flags at the hairpin. So, well, there you go. I've predicted Check for the win, and I've jinxed him. Thank you later. Clock, of course, had his race rather ruined earlier on. Has he's been brought back into the fold at least a bit with the safety car. It's at least bunched the pack up, but everyone seems to, well, at least everyone from 13th downwards seems to be a little bit stuck behind Liam, who's dropped off the back of the main pack. And then, well, within the top 10, Preds is 2.5 seconds off of that main group that is from Connor down to Lil Wiggy. Rando has ran away, so I'll see you later, Rando. I'll see you in China, mate. There's 13 laps to go, so I won't say anything yet, but obviously Rando 3.2 second lead now, looking really good, and it does seem as though he's gaining the bulk of his time in the final sector. So I wonder if he's just hooking that up really nicely, because Connor's kind of matching him everywhere else, although having said that, the gap just went from 3.1 to 3.6 in a click fingers. So I wonder if Connor made a bit of a mistake, because he's now got Sem right on the back of him. It looks as though Sem is going to get back ahead of Connor and make it a McLaren 1-2 once more.
Connor's really low on battery as well, Harry. That probably won't be helping him at all. Might be worth the Williams swapping around relatively soon as well, because Brindy Boy doesn't seem to be having too much of an issue.
I've just seen Alfie hit the back of Bennett, Jam, so that is really scuppered Alfie's race. He's on softs and he's going to have to pit again. He's probably going to have to pit now, new front wing, and go mediums to the end. The softs won't make it 12 laps, or if they do, it's going to be a push anyway.
Yeah, as you said, that Bunny got past Predators as well. Predators off the track a bit on the exit of the hairpin, so there might have been a little bit of contact there, but don't want to speculate. And Tooman got past Liam as well, so there were sort of 2 or 3 overtakes happening at the same time. Yeah, as Alfie does pit, as you predicted.
We got more damage, Jam. Connor's just hit the back of Sem at turn 1, and he's lost an end plate as well. He's now under pressure from his teammate Bunny and Brindy Boy, sorry. And well, if his comments last season are anything to go by, he won't let Brindy Boy through. We shall see. Of course, Connor teammates aren't really a thing, according to him. So I imagine he won't make it any easier for Brindy than he would any other driver. Although I don't think he's going to have to, because Brindy gets the move done there as Connor gets all out of shape through the chicane. I think he has let him through there. Yeah, I'm only joking as well. But obviously Connor did say that, so I don't know. Bennett now is on the back of Connor, and well, if Connor does want to play the team game, he won't let Bennett through easily. Maybe he's changed his tune, although no, because he's having a look at his teammate there into the hairpin. So I don't know, Connor, come on. So yes, now Wiggy has got the run on the Alpha of Bennett, as Bennett nearly hit the back of Connor into the hairpin, and now Wiggy's down the inside, bit of contact made, and they're all getting loose on the exit, and so Bennett holds the position just about.
I was grimacing there, because I could see that ending up in the wall for both of them.
it's a shame for Connor because he was driving such a good race. Unfortunately, just that damage has really seemed to have halted his progress. And now we've got Wiggy right on the back of Bennett. Of course, we presume he's going to have to pit again though. Riggs has lost another position to Morgan, so he seems to just be dropping down the field, does Riggs, which is a bit of a shame to see. It might come back to him though later on. I mean, he's got 3 drivers ahead that have penalties, 2 of which still need to pit anyway. Now Bennett has got a good run on Connor.
I don't really know how Rando's doing this, to be honest. He seems so much quicker than everyone else. Is that Lewis? Yeah, Lewis has crashed now, and that's a VSC.
Bennett got very close there to Connor. It was a little bit close to comfort down into turn 6.
He's going to be a bit of a cork in the bottle now for the rest of these guys, but
yeah,
that'll probably do his teammate a solid.
Dylan is actually right on the back of Riggs as well, so they're queuing up by the looks of things.
Yeah, I was going to say this VSC will help out Brindy Boy as well, because I noticed he had to use a lot of his ERS to keep up with Sam on those hards.
Oh,
Jib Jab's sped under the VSC. I wonder if anyone else has. I don't believe so.
Lil
Check
Wiggy,
might have, because
I think Lil Wiggy was trying a bit of an opportunistic move on Bennett there, because they did just flash up ahead of him, but Bennett does maintain P5 for now. They did seem to lose a little bit of time to Connor there. And to be honest, to be fair to Connor, he's not doing too badly really with that wing damage. Although he has just gone a little bit deep there. Obviously a bit of understeer kicking in, I imagine, from the loss of downforce. So Bennett with the DRS, I don't think he's going to go for the move into turn 1. But you'd imagine that he should be able to get it done this time round, provided there isn't another VSC or something of the like. Riggs staying ahead of Dylan for now, but I do fear that that might not be for too long. As Connor take the wall again, so he might have just made his damage even worse. Brindy Boy as well, Jam. Oh, he's letting people through. Oh, that's quite nice of Connor. See, I was being harsh on him. I take it back, Connor. I love you really. So yeah, now we've got Wiggy and Bennett going side by side. So Wiggy's taken the opportunity, I think, to try and get ahead of Bennett, but he's not managed it on this occasion. Brindy Boy as well. He's on the hards, but he's putting Sem under pressure now. It's 3/10 between the pair of them. And in fact, I'm going to quickly go over to it because it might be a move here. Brindy Boy has literally got no ERS though, but he is going down the inside of Sem into the hairpin. He's got the inside line and he's got the move done. So good move there from Brindy Boy, getting a little bit loose on the traction on exit, and Sem's going to come back at him, as you say, James. And looks as though he's going to hold the position. They're going to go side by side though. Brindy Boy on the inside tries to hold it, but Sem on the mediums, just getting that extra traction out of the corner, and he maintains the position. But it's not comfortable for Sem. He's being put under pressure here by a driver that's got no ERS and on a harder compound of tyres.
That's not
All
ideal,
the while, Rando's
really.
8 seconds ahead.
Yeah, that's not ideal really for Brindy Boy, because I think if he wanted to have any chance of catching Rando for the win, he needed to get the move done there and then. But it seems as though the hards are already looking a bit better than the mediums, judging by how the gap came down, and Brindy Boy seeming a lot more comfortable. Can't get my words out again. He seems to be able to stick with Sem a lot more comfortably than he was beforehand. As someone else just pitted, that is Connor for a new wing.
That's Connor, yeah, he's decided to pit. I'll tell you what, Tootman's actually in a position to get points, which may sound weird if you haven't watched for a while, because obviously he was fighting for the title last season. Sem has just completely rinsed that corner there, and it's allowed Brindy Boy to go through.
Sem will come back at him though,
yeah,
with DRS.
that's not the line you want to take, but yeah, Sem will get the DRS, and he has actually got some battery, so he should get the position back. But yeah, Sem just losing a little bit of concentration perhaps. As I was saying, yeah, Toom's in a position to get points here for the first time in quite a while, as Preds and Lil Wiggy both probably going to have to pit. So that will promote him up to 9th, which was nice to see, obviously. Excuse me. I've got the hiccups. Rando 8.7 ahead now. He's cruising out ahead. Little Wiggy did manage to get past Bennett as well, just saying, no, Sem's pitting.
Oh wow. I'm really surprised by that.
He's not one to gamble, is he, Sem?
No,
he's not one to gamble on the tyres. He obviously pitted in Australia when he was worried about the tyres being around 80% at the end. Of course, puncture territory is 75% plus, but it's quite unlikely. I've only ever got at 75%, so it's not exactly a likely occurrence. Obviously, it's kind of all down to chance. But Sem's not willing to risk it here. So he's pitted. That releases Brindley Boy, but it's a 9-second gap to Rando, so it's unlikely, provided it stays how it is, that will change. Bennett's now up to P3. He's driving a very good races. Bennett, he's got Silly Bunny right behind him though, so Bunny's come back into it. He had to pit early on, did Bunny, but the safety car has really brought him back into play, and now he's looking at a potential P3, and he's got 90% of his battery. Wow. I think this should be advantage Bunny, definitely. Bennett is on 0%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bunny really, if he wants to, could utilise the battery and get away. Dylan as well, up now to P6, getting past Morgan. Morgan having a good race. He's been pretty quiet. We haven't really mentioned him a lot, but he is, driving a very good race. He's up 11 places, but he does have 6 seconds of penalties, as you just see there on the right. Riggsy then, he's now P8. He's kind of settled in a bit, has Riggs. So perhaps he was just, like we say, managing the tyre, saving ERS and whatnot. So yeah, Tootman is now up into P9 after everyone's pitted. We still expect Preds to pit, which he does now on cue. Of course, we didn't expect Sem to pit, but he has.
Yeah.
And in fact, we've got Renault in as well. Riggsy's pitting as well.
To be honest, I really don't understand why Sem's pitted, because he's thrown away a almost guaranteed podium. I think there was no wind change or anything. I guess he's hoping that he can maybe get a fastest lap on these softs and catch back up to third place, where he was for such a long time in this race on the podium. But yeah, I'm a little confused as to why he's done that, to be honest. Doesn't really seem worth it at this rate, although he does seem to be closing the gap quite quickly to Tootman and the Haas, and probably the rest of the guys as well. The gap out front as well, not changing at all, so unless something drastic happens in these last 7 or so laps, it looks like Rando's on for his first win in Division 1.
Yeah, if I'm being completely honest though, I can't see Sem getting much higher than P5 here, and even that's a bit of a push. I mean, he's got 6 seconds-ish to Dylan, and then after that it's another 2 to Bennett and Bunny. You never know, but I can't see him getting much further than that. As we say, Rando 9.5 seconds now is his gap out front, so he's absolutely controlling this race. Brindley Boy is, well, he'll be able to go to the end, definitely, on the hards, and he's not losing any time, or Bunny's not gaining any time on him, sorry, should I say. So that's all looking pretty decent out front. You think on paper the mediums would have lasted, but like I say, I know some of these guys aren't really those to gamble, so perhaps didn't want to risk it. And Tootman, who we said might be on for points, I fear might get swallowed up a little bit. Connor just set the fastest lap the lap prior, and he's flying. Although having said that, he's got a fairly sizable gap to Wiggy behind, that's 5 seconds as well. It would be nice to see, just to show that persistence pays off when it comes to trying the no assists, but it's going to be touch and go, I think, as to whether Tootman can keep his points that he's currently going to be getting. Of course, yeah, Riggs pitting as well, which was slightly surprising. I'm not sure he necessarily needed to do that. Owen wants the tyres up. I've had them up for most of the race, so I don't think there's too much difference. Everyone that pitted basically went onto the softs, and then it's either guys on old mediums or Brindley on the hards. In fact, Brindley's the only driver on the hards. We'll head over to Merck Sem for a quick update.
I don't think Sem's going to lose anything here. I think he's obviously going for that extra point for fastest lap, so maybe he was looking at 15 points, maybe he can get 16 points, I don't know. I have a feeling he might snake a podium. I have a feeling if he can get past Morgan quickly, I have a feeling that he could be in with a shot. With the tyres going off for those people on the mediums at the moment, Sem's on fresh, well, fairly fresh softs. I have a feeling. Sem might have played done the best he could here, because I think he was getting past, was going to beat Brindy. I think Brindy was going to beat him on the tyres anyway, and I think he's going to get past Morgan. So yeah, I think, like I say, he got past Morgan quickly. I think if he can get a move on, he could, and if he takes the fastest lap as well, he could get 1 point more than he was looking at. So I keep an eye on that, but yeah, I think that's the main thing to.
Where's the fastest lap?
The main thing to look out for. I think Klopp was the one with the fastest lap. Oh no, Connor's
It's
set.
Connor at the moment.
Yeah.
36.5 for him. I'm not sure Sem's gonna get the fastest lap. He's quite low on the ERS. But yeah, like you say, he is gonna have to get a move on because well, he's got 3 seconds to Dylan, then it's a second and a half to Bennett, and then it's 2 seconds to Bunny. So he's got all in all about 6.5 seconds to gain, which is perhaps slightly unlikely. Riggsy's pitted again, so I think he might have picked up some damage. It's a shame because he was looking on for some decent points, but I'm not sure it's quite meant to be for him this evening. Let's just quickly bring up the penalties. We've got Morgan on 9 seconds, Wiggy's on 3, Check's on 3. Other than that, everyone else yet to get any penalties. So it's been fairly clean on the whole with the whole penalties.
Sem's
Sem's hit the wall. Sem has hit the wall. Has he got damage? Yes, he has. He's lost an end plate. He's going to carry on though. He's got, what, 4 laps to go. I'm not sure he's necessarily going to lose a position from this. Morgan comes into the pits. And Lil Wiggy is now behind Tooman. I think Tooman's going to get a point here, you know.
Why is Morgan coming into the pits?
I don't know. Morgan's definitely not going to get points because he's got 9 seconds of penalties.
Well, I think I put the commentator's curse on Sem by saying he would get a podium. So, when he watches this back,
for Morgan.
when he watches this back, I apologise. Yeah.
Look, I'm just happy that it's not me jinxing everyone for once.
Dude, at one point we had the 3 predictions for the race winner as 1, 2, and 3 until Silly Bunny got past Bennett. So, you know.
Well, who did we say? Check? No.
No, not Check. I thought.
Who else?
You said
who else did we
Brindy.
have?
I'm wrong.
I said
You
Rando,
said
mate.
Bennett. You said
Rando.
Bennett, didn't you, Mo?
Yeah, I said Bennett, so
Bennett's
maybe you
4.
weren't. Maybe I was wrong.
And James said Rando. Alright, we've not done too bad. Check's got fastest lap now, so he obviously has the pace. We got Lil Wiggy then going for the move on Tooman. He's on fresher tyres and on softer tyres. He's on 3 lap old softs, 2 and 12 lap old mediums. Got the DRS, got the slipstream, used a bit of his battery. Job's a good and Bob's your uncle, although he's making it a bit hard for himself because he's just gone slightly deep into the hairpin there. And I wonder if Tooman perhaps went with a bit of a late lunge down the inside and put him under a bit of pressure. They're now going to go side by side. Not really. I think Wiggy's got it done there. Gets his way through up into P7. And now he's got to try and pull away 3 seconds from the Haas driver in as many laps.
Connor passed Liam as well for P9.
And Alfie is as well. Alfie's up into 10th now himself.
And they've both now got Predators breathing down their neck. He might sneak a point if he's lucky.
Alfie on 8 lap old mediums, Preds on 3 lap old soft, so he's going to have that tyre advantage is Preds. I think now penalties aren't really going to play too big a factor given that everyone has a penalty is either outside the points or if you're Wiggy probably should pull away 3 seconds from Tooman, given that the gap's already up to 1.6 seconds. Brindy is actually closing that gap down to Rando, but well, it's
way too little, way too late.
Yeah, it's come down about half a second, but yeah, it's still up at 8.7. So as we say, Rando doesn't really need to take any risks now. He can afford to perhaps take his foot off the gas a little. I'm sure he won't want to, but he can afford to. And yeah, he should really just be looking at bringing home the 25 points.
I can't help but feel bad for Brindy boy because I told him pretty confidently that it would be softs to hards, and clearly it wasn't. Although,
well, you want to know that.
Well,
the safety car will come out at a perfect time to go softs mediums.
I think
Preds is now up past Liam.
Yeah.
The 11th.
I think as Sem showed with pitting again, if Rando hadn't have pitted beyond the safety car, then maybe it would have worked out for Brindy. But either way, he's going to get P2 if all goes to plan in the last couple of laps. Predators might still sneak that point, as I said a couple of laps ago, although he's got to close 1.3 seconds to Alfie in the last lap and a little bit. Still got a bit of a battle on for third place, although Dylan's a lot closer to Bennett than Bennett is to Bunny, so it doesn't look like that's going to change at all. Predator's just about sneaking inside Alfie's DRS, I should think, for the next straight. So that might be about the only position change we see in the rest of this race now.
Yeah, Lil Weeger's managed to pull that 3-second gap.
Got some driver of the day votes already coming in. They're going for, but it's between Bunny and Rando at the moment. Looks like it's going to Bunny after his lap 1 stop. Definitely helped out by the safety car. But
well, it's just all the Mercedes drivers voting for Bunny.
He has drove a good race since then.
Yeah, he was in
Yes,
about P12, wasn't he, when the safety car came in? He's pulled off some lovely overtakes I've seen for him to get back up into a podium place. So yeah, definitely deserving driver of the day. Although Rando has also done a stellar job in the lead as well, as we have got Predators making that move for the final point. He's going to go around the outside into the hairpin. Alfie's not giving up just yet though, forces him off
no
the track a little bit. Yeah. Bit touch and go with
got
that
the
one,
elbows out.
We've
got Simpson Racing saying Brindy driver of the day, despite being on the wrong strat. I wouldn't say he was on the wrong strategy. Soft hards is the way to go. I think it was just the fact that that safety car came out at the sort of complete wrong time for him. But well, it became the wrong strategy, shall we say. We are now on the last lap. Rando 8.4 seconds ahead still, so well he's gonna be cruising now. We got yellow flags in the final set, so that's in the middle set. Sorry, that's for check.
Dylan right behind Bennett as well, Harry. That could be a late change for P4.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. In fact, he's going to get the DRS down the back straight. Oh, and Bennett gets out of shape. He gets out of shape and actually pulls away from Dylan, strangely enough. There we go, Morgan gets another penalty. And in fact, Lil Wiggy is kind of closed down Sem. It's a shame he has that penalty. Obviously, Sem's got the damage as well, let's not forget. Bennett hasn't got the DRS, Dylan does. He's getting a big squeeze from Bennett. It's getting a bit close there, but Dylan does get the move done. He's up into P4. So, nice, pretty decent result, you have to say, for Dylan. He's going to maintain that championship lead. It's P4 with his first race with no traction. Pretty good going, you'd have to say. But here we go then, to take his first win in Division 1. It's going to be SLR Rando. He has dominated this race and he crossed the line as a race winner here. Brilliant drive from him. He's going to be followed home by Brindy Boy. He's put last week behind him to take home P2. And then 13 seconds back to Silly Bunny. Rando's 20 seconds ahead of P3. Wow, that just shows how dominant he was this evening. It's going to be Bunny then P3. It's a Mercedes 3-4. Dylan actually getting very close to Bunny there across the line. Dylan's 4th. Bennett is P5. It's going to be Sem 6th from Lil Wiggy. Tooman is going to come home P8 to take his first points in Division 1 since going to no assists. Very good drive from him. P8 for Tooman. It's going to be 9th for Connor after having to pit again. Preds is P10 in the end. It's going to be Alfie 11th. Morgan, with all his penalties, is probably going to be P14. It's Clock. He crossed the line. He goes up to 13th. Not been a brilliant race with Clock. Obviously, getting punted by Jib Jab early on didn't help. Riggsy crossed the line, P15. Yeah, he had to pit a couple of times there towards the end, which was a shame for him because he was on some decent points. Jib Jab weaving across the line, so he's obviously pleased with his P16. And then it is Check. These are the last of the finishers in 17. He pits a time penalty for his troubles, and oh, he's drifting the car around the final couple of corners. Nice. The two non-finishers were Lewis and Ranga, but wow, let's talk about that drive from Rando. Brilliant drive from him to take his first win in Division 1.
Yeah, fantastic drive from him. Led from start to finish and never really looked back as soon as he had that gap of about 1.7 seconds or something like that after the first lap. yeah, made it made it look easy, to be honest. He was just in complete control for the whole thing. I have to say, I feel he was helped out a little bit by Sem in the early stages, although might have just been no response to his pace from his teammates. So yeah, fantastic job from him and a thoroughly deserved first win in Division One. Of course, lost the podium last week with his spin at the end on the final lap in Bahrain. So yeah, great response from him.
Yeah, so there you go. Rando from Brindy from Bunny. That's your top three then. It's another Mercedes on the podium and another McLaren on the podium. Dylan fourth, first race in no traction. Good job from him. Bennett fifth. He had a very solid race. Did Bennett. Sem was sixth. Lil Wiggy from 19th on the grid comes home P7. Tooman is eighth to take his first points for quite a while there. He's up 8 off the start. Connor came home in P9 in the end, and then Predators rounds out the points in 17th. Just before we do the interviews, I'd just like to get Merck's thoughts on the race.
Yeah, I think Rando was a cut above everyone. I'm sure he'll love me for saying that. Yeah, I don't think there was. I know Sem was. You could say Sem was playing the rear gunner role, but I think Rando had. Well, he didn't look back once he got through the first lap unscathed, and he'd already pulled that DRS gap. And yeah, even the safety car wasn't a problem for him. Pulled the gap quickly. Yeah, Bunny coming back from the back of the grid on lap 1 as well. That's a good drive from him. A few drivers will probably leave Vietnam kind of a bit annoyed with themselves. Probably could have done better. The likes of Sem, Connor, Riggs, and those few you mentioned, Czech as well. Yeah, I think Brindy as well. Obviously, did a great job on the hards and did the best he could. It's just, Rando stole the day for me.
All right then. I'll hand it over to James for the podium interviews. But just before that, I think we've got the top 3 in the party. So I'll just say well done to the top 3. Brilliant drives from all 3 of you. And over to James for the podium interviews.
All right, then we'll start with third place, which was of course Silly Bunny. You were last in the pits, I believe, by the end of lap 1, and you've ended it with a podium. So yeah, just talk us through what I'm sure was a pretty eventful race from yourself.
Yeah, cheers. I definitely did not expect a top 10 after lap 1. I think Connor just lost traction or something. I'll watch it back before I start pointing the fingers. But yeah, no, cheers. Yeah, it was a good race. I had pretty much Zydrad and Dylan in my ear the whole time, and Fempest, the legend, pretty much just calming me down because I was pretty heated after that. As soon as for this track for me, I did well in qualifying. But yeah, I mean, Dylan as well getting P4 at the end on the last lap from what looked like doom and gloom for Mercedes. We've still managed to bring home a huge amount of points. And if I could express and example the feeling at Mercedes, I would have to use this clip. Yeah, not too many points lost for us. So yeah, I'm pretty gassed with that. And also, I've got to say, like, Rando, me man, that pace is unreal. Like, fair play to you. That was a brilliant race for myself, and also Brindy stretching the hards. Well, not stretching, but yeah, using the hards to the end. Yeah, fair play. So yeah, well done, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Oh yes, more like oh dear.
All right, we'll move swiftly on from that one. We'll go to second place, Brindy boy. Yeah, some absolute clown told you to go softs hard before the race. So my main question to you really is, do you think it could have been a bit more if you'd gone for the mediums instead?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think my tyres were pretty dead at the end of the race. And I imagine that Rando's mediums were even more so. But yeah, I mean, I was happy to at least finish the race, to be honest, let alone get a podium after my first 2 races. So, yeah, quite happy with that. But yeah, I just want to say well done to Rando, an amazing drive, and I I don't know how he didn't get a puncture, but he did a great job. And also Bunny, after hearing of what's happened, great drives from both of you.
All right then, we will round out these interviews with your race winner today. It was a lights to flag win really for SLR Rando, pole position as well. Just sort of 2 words to sum that up really, absolutely dominant.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, going into Vietnam, I hated it. Obviously, I was in Div 3 last time I was here, and I think I broke my wing like twice or something. I hated the track, and I don't know, everyone kept telling me the more you do it, the more you like it, and it was the case. Ended up liking it. I think strategy-wise, I don't know how Sem was second, but he was after the first lap. And we didn't have any like team orders. I think our plan was to for us to like both break away. But I think Steph was battling with, I think it was you, Brindy, and Czech, in P3, and then he couldn't quite catch up. So it was almost, I was just managing tyres. Then I was going to pit lap 10 anyway. Safety car kind of pissed me off, not going to lie, because I had like a massive gap. But no, the tyres were actually not as bad as you'd think. I think they're only on like 65% at the end of the race. But I think clean air helped that a lot. But I just want to say huge congrats to Brindy and Bunny. Great drives from both of you. I mean, Bunny, you broke your front wing at the start, you clown. And to still come back where you did, that's a huge
This
congrats
love.
to you.
Where's this love come from? Yeah, cheers, mate.
Can I just ask, Rando, was it always your intention to hit for the mediums?
Yeah, so Sem and I, you know what Sem's like. Every strategy was tested to the maximum. But yeah, basically, we knew that the mediums were quicker, and I hated the hards. We did a practice, and my race director, I was a second a lap difference on the hards. Like I was jumping from like 38s to 41s. I had no consistency, so I was like, I'm going to use the mediums anyway. And yeah, probably a tip for elite: soft medium, box lap 10. Tires will go. But no, it was my plan to pit on the mediums from lap 10-ish, sort of.
Okay then. Congratulations to the top 3, and of course to yourself, Rando, for your first win in Division 1. Be sure to join us throughout the rest of the weekend for Divisions 2 and 3 tomorrow, and Elite on Sunday. We've got no F2 again next week, but we are at China, a track that we probably won't be seeing in real life this year, but we can do it on the game. But that is all we got time for this evening. So thank you all for watching, and good night.